Welcome, everybody. I'm James Ward,
And I'm April Ward.
and this is another edition of BizTalk UnLocked. You know, here on BizTalk, we always bring you phenomenal interviews, and today is another day where we're doing just that. Today, we're going to be talking to, I like to call, marketing consulting guru, the man who gets you fit and started the phrase "Go Get It," none other than the undisputed heavyweight champion of content, Mr. Corey Dissin. Thank you for being on the show.
James, April, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Thanks for coming. I'm so glad you etched some time for us. And I want to just share with the audience a little bit about who you are. So
Yeah.
let me just dive in and read your bio. Corey made his bones in the broadcast advertising industry as the VP of a national video audio production company for over 27 years. His fingerprint was on over 100,000 unique projects and more than $10 million in voiceover and production inventory for some of the country's most iconic brands, including Disney on Ice, The Howard Stern Show, Monster Jam, and the Philadelphia 76ers. In addition, he quarterbacked the marketing for hundreds of auto dealers, furniture stores, casinos, concerts, live events, and all sorts of other retailers and service providers all over the United States. In 2018, Corey began to leverage that experience and his vast network to provide marketing and social media consulting services direct to voice talent and entrepreneurs from a myriad of other industries. By July of 2020, his consultancy grew to such a level that it allowed him to walk away from the production company altogether. He's been helping hundreds to go get it ever since. Corey is also the author of Going the Distance, 10 Rounds to a Championship Life and Career, Life Lessons Inside a Tribute Wrapped Up in a Memoir.
Yes.
There you go.
Wow. That's very
Hey, let
impressive.
me be an author.
I know, an author. Oh man, I just remember the first time I met Corey. And it was on the campus of Widener University because I was looking for an internship in media, and he was my first of 2 interviews that day. It was in the CAPS office, and I was so nervous. But his presence was so welcoming and so encouraging, even just in the interview. And I was like, oh, I hope I get this. I hope I get this job. But I was so ecstatic that they did like me, and he was, after college, I was able to work with him. So I'm so glad we're talking today.
This is an amazing event right now to see the student is now the teacher. And, I just wish I had the hair that I back then that I have. It's a little different now, but you work with what you got.
Right.
Hey, brother, from one ball man to another, you make it look well. You know what I'm saying? So you rocking it.
Thanck goodness.
Looks great.
Thank goodness I don't have a football-shaped head. But
right. That's the one
that's
thing
another
you have
interview.
to. Yeah, you have to make sure like you have a nice shaped head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's part of the battle, I guess, right there.
Right.
But you only find that out after you do it. So
Oh yes.
Well, the good news is I have a part-time job as a jack-o'-lantern in October. So
Seasonal. It's seasonal.
yeah, like seasonal work, a little extra money.
I got to look into that too then. So, but hey, I want to hit you with the first question, if you don't mind. So we'll dive right into this. Make sure those who are watching right now that you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, let me just do a quick house cleaning that we need to do. This video is being sponsored by frontrunnerNewJersey.com. So it is a digital publication that you can actually learn a lot about South Jersey, about politics. You can learn about local community events that you normally wouldn't see on your mainline news organization. So frontrunnerNewJersey.com. We appreciate you continuing to support what we do so we can unlock the secrets to businesses for those who are seeking to be an entrepreneur or those who are already entrepreneurs and want to enhance their knowledge in that industry. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you the first question. Can you walk us through the inspiration or the aha moments that led you to start your business?
Well, first the earth cooled, then the dinosaurs came. But kid, what happened in my entrepreneurial journey? Number one, the consulting business that I've had since 2018 was not my first go around. Just know that. Although I was managing that production company since 1993, In 2008, I got the crazy idea to open up a personal training studio. So I was doing that simultaneously. And that was a good proving ground, a good learning opportunity for me to learn how to navigate the marketing and dealing with a brick and mortar structure and customers and marketing and all that kind of stuff. But leading up to 2018, there were two things going on. Number one, by 2018, I'd been with the production company for 25 years. Was vice president of the company. The only logical next step for me was to buy the company, and I didn't want to do that. That wasn't for me. So I kind of hit a ceiling there. Great company, great people, made a nice living, had no problem with that. But just for fulfillment's sake, I was kind of hitting the roof there. And then at the same time, my youngest son was a pretty highly recruited high school athlete getting ready to be possibly play Division I baseball in college. And it was most likely not going to be in Pennsylvania. So I knew by 2020, when he graduated, I was going to need to have a Shawshank plan so that I could follow him wherever he went, because I watched every game since he was in diapers.
Wow.
And I wasn't going to miss another one, because for me, it's family first. And with those two things happening together, hitting my ceiling with the full-time employment and my son's athletics trajectory, like I said, I need to put together a Shawshank plan. And that was my aha moment, that I have to do something that is, A, can generate revenue, and B, wouldn't be a conflict for where I was currently working. Because everyone told me, well, why don't you just go be an agent or go run your own production company? You have all the contacts, you did all the sales. I didn't want to screw over the people that worked underneath me, because some of them were young and had their own families or getting ready to start, and they just got married. And, I wanted to do it on my own 2 feet, and I didn't want to bogart anything from the other company. So that was my moment. That was like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to help other voiceover people and production people and design people market themselves. Because for all this time, I had been sitting behind the desk and I had been marketed to by all of these voiceover people. So I knew what was not working well, or what techniques were cool or unique. And then on the other hand, I was marketing against a lot of these people, marketing our roster of talent to all these production companies and advertising agencies all over the country. So I knew how I was able to outmarket them and get the business. So that's where it really started. I really drilled down on that niche, and I said, I'm going to help voiceover professionals market themselves independently and not depend on the agent model. That was my aha moment, those combination of events.
It's interesting that, part of that motivation of becoming, pushing you to become an entrepreneur is realizing the bigger picture is that I need to create something that I can have time with my family. And, the fact that you saw that going toward becoming a business owner would allow you to do that if implemented successful and I'm pretty sure in the beginning you put in a lot of times where you probably might have missed some things, apparently not games, but missed some things because you had to put in a little bit more time to end up getting a return of time to now, dive into because of what you've done. That makes sense or anything like that? Would that be true for
no
your?
doubt there was definitely plenty of sacrifices made. And that's something that carries on into my coaching with my clients now. They have to be willing to make those sacrifices, and not many people are willing to do that. Whether you're sacrificing money, whether you're sacrificing sleep, whether you're sacrificing, that maybe that you don't have that night out with your significant other because you need to save that money to reinvest in yourself. Maybe you're not huddled around the TV on Friday nights to watch a movie on that one night. I mean, I basically approached it as if I had 2 full-time jobs, period. And because I knew if I took the pain up front and passed on some of the fun and leisure, I would get it back 100 times over down the road.
Yes.
And that's, thank goodness, the life that I kind of live now in semi-retirement, because, For me, it was about 3 letters. Here's your little lesson today. QTL. QTL stands for quality time
Mm.
left.
Wow.
You know,
Quality time
That's what
left.
you've been
It's like,
talking about. Yeah.
I didn't want to retire. I didn't want to retire at 65 and be, oldie moldy and have to chase my grandkids around with a cane or something. I wanted to, grow up with my kids a little bit and, be on their journey and be there to support them and be able to wake up every morning, have coffee with my wife, every dinner with my wife. We do that now every day. We're spoiled rotten, but you know what? I took one for the team early. So yeah, sacrifice key to get that QTL.
we're gonna go to the next question. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome and powerful.
Wow. And
No
what were
problem.
some of the biggest challenges you faced during the initial stages of setting up the business? You may have shared that, but what were your challenges?
Well, I mean, the biggest challenge was is building the book. You start from nothing. I mean, you have no clients, no revenue. Every dollar you invest, you're basically taking it from your W-2 income, your full-time job income, and investing in yourself. But most of my time was getting on the phone with people, messaging people, sending out emails, and trying to build this persona, this personal brand to create attention and be remembered. And every time I landed a new client, I would share their story with the next group of possible clients. And that was, the goal was to generate enough revenue so I wouldn't have to work for the production company anymore. And that was a slog. I mean, it wasn't easy, but the more clients I picked up, the more value I created because I had proof, I had social proof. And then I could start to raise my rates a little bit. I mean, my rates have more than tripled since I opened the business in
Wow.
2018.
As you built your client base, how did you decide on your target market or customer base, and what steps did you take to reach them?
Well, I knew my lowest hanging fruit would be voiceover people because I knew so many of them already. They were soliciting me constantly because I was basically the commandant for a production company to say, hey, I was the buck stopped with me. If you were going to be on our roster, if you were going to audition for something, if you were, whatever the rate was for that all passed through my desk. So I knew I had an in with a lot of the voiceover people. That's number one. The other thing at the same time, I was started to notice how social media was going to be the catalyst for this. For me to reach the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time would be to utilize social media. And I saw some other, they're called influencers now, but they were talking heads out there putting out information, motivational chats, whatever it was. And I didn't know branding was a thing. I didn't know that's what it was called. I didn't know personal branding was a thing, but I saw there was one fella in particular, and I'm glad to drop his name. His name is Steve Noodleberg. I would encourage you to check him out. I saw this guy on LinkedIn and he's out there, he's barking at people going, this is how you sell. This is how you start a business, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I can do that. So you know what I did? I sent him a message. I go, can I get on the phone with you? I want to just bend your ear for a minute. And lo and behold, he called me. I got on the phone with him and I said, look, I want to learn to do what you do. I think I can do what you can do. And then I said to him, if I could be half as good at what you do, I'm going to be just fine. And then he said something to me that hit me between the eyes like a ball peen hammer. He said, Corey, you are what you say you are. I was like, whoa. So what he was telling me is if I go into it saying I only want to be half as good as him, I'll only ever be half as good as him. He wanted me to say, you can be as good or better. So that's how I approached it. I had the as if mentality. I was already out there creating content, influencing people, presenting myself as an authority. And that's a
Mm.
Yeah,
magnet.
and I remember you promoting the use of LinkedIn. Like that was a
Huge.
huge thing. I was like, wow, Corey's really pushing this LinkedIn. I got to up my LinkedIn page. And now a lot of people are using LinkedIn more than they are with Facebook, that I think, in our generation.
LinkedIn, it's by far, if you want to make money, get on LinkedIn. If you don't want to make money, don't get on LinkedIn. And you got to learn how to use it right too, because it's by far the best networking, um, marketing, social media marketing platform, bar none, against any of the other ones. Can't beat it.
I totally agree with you, especially if you're looking to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people they think they need to go to Facebook, and those are great social sites. But if you're a business person, you definitely have to be on LinkedIn, because that is going to be your best gateway to network with other ideal minds or people that you can do business with. So that's a huge thing. So LinkedIn, people, even though LinkedIn is not sponsoring us, but y'all can sponsor us, LinkedIn. But yes.
And I can tell you, I poured a big pitcher of LinkedIn Kool-Aid and I gave it a big guzzle, and I said, I'm gonna figure out how to be the best at this. Now, am I the best? There's plenty of other people that are really, really awesome technicians and tacticians at LinkedIn. But here's what I tell people about LinkedIn. Becoming proficient at LinkedIn literally changed my life, because I figured out the nuts and bolts of that thing and what daily actions to take to grow your network and engage with your network and turn leads into clients and clients into repeat customers. Because I figured out how to do it there, it enabled me to walk away from that production company cold, because that was the pipeline for a lot of my customers, new customers, and I could share their successes, which created more customers. And it just boiled down to, I was converting a lot of those conversations and connections into clients and revenue.
Wow.
That's so good.
Part of the journey of being an entrepreneur and a business person is believing in yourself, and and I would say stay around positive people that speak life into you, in terms of helping to grow that ideal that you believe and that you're campaigning and marketing about yourself to come into reality. So that was key that you shared that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll give you a real short way to remember what you just said, because what you just said was right on the money. With confidence projects competence. Confidence projects competence.
Wow. We could just,
if you're out there and you're standing up tall and you're going, look at me, this is what I can do, people will interpret that as, this guy knows what he's doing, I'm going to invest in him or her.
Corey.
Wow.
I mean, with you saying that statement, I mean, we could actually end the interview.
That was a mic drop.
Right.
But we're having so much fun.
It was early.
but we'll give the people more, because we know you got a wealth of stuff to share with us. But that was powerful. That gave me goosebumps.
I'm just getting warmed up.
That gave me goosebumps. I love that.
Yeah.
With confidence come competence. Wow.
That is true. That is so true.
Yeah.
So, was there a defining moment when you knew your business was going to succeed, or was it more of a gradual realization?
I think both are true, because I saw it growing month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year. And then when I approached that level of, I told my wife, I go, Elaine, that's my wife. I said, Elaine, this thing is earning the same amount of money as I'm getting on my paycheck now. They're even. So that, in my mind, told me that I could cut loose and my quality of life wouldn't change. And I built such a predictable system that I knew I was going to make enough revenue to actually live off of it. It wasn't just a hobby or a fun little activity or something that I could put up a facade online and go, look at me, I'm, big, tough LinkedIn guy. This is a way to pay my car payment and my mortgage and tuition and all those things. When that happened, I was like, yeah, we're calling Yahtzee. We're out of here, because I was done working for somebody else. It was time for me to schedule my work around my life instead of my life around my work.
Wow. And I got to tell you, I can relate to that. Um, there's a lot of people who venture into business and say, well, I got this business ideal, and quit their jobs. And sometimes they find out those businesses fail miserably, but they don't have that other source of income. And I recall, as I tell people, man, I'm burning the count on both sides, both ends. I'm working full time and I'm doing our business. But that's so important what you said. When you saw that you were making enough income that matched the income that you were making when you worked for someone, that gave you the confidence and the easy transition to go into full time of doing your business. And I can relate to that because, I worked in broadcast news, and that was, we were always on the go, running all over the place. And when I found my two things was, is my business starting to interfere with my workplace? Because that's not fair to my job if, I'm taking phone calls or, the business is picking up. I can't do that.
Of
So
course.
that's letting me know it's time to go. And then two, am I making the same amount or more of what I'm, doing for my job? And so what you said was key. And I hope those who are watching realize, hey, take your time and make sure the transition is smooth and not stressful. Should never be stressful.
Well, you're going to be in
Yeah.
the deep water. Let's be real about that. It's not easy. I mean, the reason why you're sitting right there doing what you're doing is because you had a tremendous amount of intestinal fortitude to hang in there, and you made a lot of sacrifices because you saw the light at the end of the
Mhm.
tunnel. Most folks are not wired to put up that type of effort. Hence why I have a business, because I'm the
Yeah.
bridge to that. I say, look, I did what you want to do and you don't know how to do. If you can't look at me and go, that guy will help me, you're blind, not paying attention. Because I literally went from employee to
Yes.
entrepreneur. Most folks want, I don't want to say most, but most would be entrepreneurs, that's their goal. They want to ditch the day job, man. They want to work for themselves and have their own thing. And I'm going, hey, look at me. I did it. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. I'm not hiding anything. It's going to be fully transparent. I'm going to share with you step by step what I did and apply it to whatever direction you're going. So the sacrifice is key, man, for
Amen.
sure.
How did you secure initial funding or resources to get started? And what advice would you give others looking to raise capitals for their ventures?
Well, I mean, I took it from my own personal money. Number one, I did it slowly. I didn't take out any loans. I was in the black the entire time because I didn't want to owe anybody anything. And you don't need, now. Look, if you're going to open up a brick and mortar location, there's a lot more to it. You have to get some kind of financing unless you're independently wealthy. And if you're independently wealthy, why are you working anymore anyway? But because my business was virtual, basically, I just needed a laptop. So I went and I took out the credit card, bought a laptop just for my business. So I was always working on two computers. I had the day job computer and I had the laptop open on to the side, fielding emails or posting on social media, yada yada. So my initial startup costs were pretty low, thank goodness, and I stretched out paying some of them off on a credit card. But every dollar that I made was reinvested into the company for a while. I didn't take any type of salary or payroll. I mean, it was at least 18 months before I started putting money in my
Right.
pocket.
And that's kind of like, so that's what
That
James,
is so key. And that's why it's like, yeah, don't quit your day job. Not
right.
try to be mean when you say that to people. Oh, I'm going to start my business. Yeah, but don't quit your day job. But because we didn't see paychecks when we started our production company before it evolved into being more than like a multimedia marketing company. We were paying everybody else on our crew, but reinvesting in getting more equipment. We were reinvesting getting, being able to get a website, all this stuff just to build a brand up
Yeah.
until it started generating enough money that we could start paying ourselves. But we made sure that our crew got taken care of. We made sure
Yeah.
our crew had the right equipment. And that's what it sounds like what you did. You
So
got you
similar.
got all the equipment you needed and reinvest, and it eventually pays off.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. Just, I mean, look, I was I was putting pressure on myself, but I was taking my time, if that makes sense. I wanted to earn the money, but I wasn't going to dig a hole for myself financially to start this thing up. So I had told you earlier before in the discussion how when I operated a fitness studio, that was a good training ground for me. And I built that company the same way I built my current, uh, a consulting business. I didn't have a building to start. It was at my local gym that I was a member. I basically asked the owner, "Do you mind if I go up to clients and say, hey, can I train you?" And I wound up getting enough clients, making enough money that I took the money from those people and rented a little 400 square foot box of an office and bought some secondhand equipment, not brand new. I bought used equipment, and then when that grew, then I got a 1,200-foot space. Then I started hiring other trainers and paying them, and then I sold the whole thing and made a nice chunk of change. I just took that formula of starting slow, not taking out any loans, reinvesting, building, and then eventually, instead of selling this business that I have now, it was the Shawshank plan, which was, go basically. I live semi-retired, and I still have a handful of clients every month. But the point is to spend lots of time with my family.
It's so important that we can give our time. I mean, uh, back to our family. And I get what you're saying. And so those who are watching, I mean, as you understanding, as we keep talking about time, you find that that's the most valuable aspect of this whole puzzle
Yes.
of entrepreneurship is to get back time. So I'm just trying to turn on the lights for those who are thinking about entrepreneur, how it works in terms of if you want to spend time with your family, you got to create these outlets of businesses
And multiple
that will
income.
allow you to do that. But you're going to have to put in some time.
Therein lies the litmus test for mom and
Hmm.
pop entrepreneur is how, you know, what are you willing to absorb? How bad do you want that time with your family? Because everybody says they want their time with the family, but they're not willing to take the punches and survive them to eventually see what's on the other side there. And that's what separates, the men from the boys, so to speak, because entrepreneurship, it's
Yeah.
hard. You're going to be told no way more times than you're going to be told yes. And it always takes longer than you think. There is no magic pill. It's about consistency. You want to blow up, you got to show up every day for several days, weeks, and months and years in a row. Um, yeah, that's figuring that like people, like I said, a lot of times people say, I want to be able, I don't want to have to work for the man anymore, and I want to be able to spend time with my kids. But then when they see what it actually takes, then I would say at least 75% of them bail because they're not willing to take that pain up front. And it is painful. Like I said, my wife and I adore each other, but she wanted to hit me in the head with a frying pan many days because I was doing what I was doing. But now, thank goodness, we're enjoying, the fruit of that labor.
I know there's been oftentimes I'm
Right.
like, why did I leave corporate America? It was just so easy at that. Why did I put myself through this stress? But then the aha moments of the bigger picture comes back. Oh, this is why I'm doing it, because of time. This is why I'm doing it. And then it becomes worth it because I know what that side was like. And
Right.
so I'm just going to push through. And it always works out when I continue to push through because it becomes a blessing for a lot of other people, not just me. So, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt.
so I know that you speak to a lot of people. So my next question
Mhm.
is, what role did networking and mentorship play in your business's early development? And did you have any key mentors or role models?
Well, I mean, there's only two letters between networking and not working. Networking, that's my job, is getting myself out there talking to people. And that's where I sunk my teeth into, and I said, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to build my presence on social media. I produced hundreds of my own podcast episodes, interview style. I did live streams. I did all sorts of things to get my name out there to build my brand until I didn't have to anymore. But even every day, I'm still doing the same things that I teach people that have yet to do really any networking, like the early stage stuff, inviting people to connect on LinkedIn, commenting on posts, putting out content every day. I still do it every day manually. I don't have some crazy computer program or somebody down the trough doing it for me. It's all coming right from here every day. But networking is huge. If you're not willing to network, you're not going to make any money, because imagine trying to put on a rock concert without any butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how great you play that guitar or how awesome you sing. If there's nobody sitting on the other side of the stage, you got a big bag of jack squat.
Wow. There's
You
nothing worse
gotta,
than
you gotta meet people. You gotta get out there, and you need those little simulcasters out there. There are your satellite marketers. When you leave an impression on somebody, the goal is for that person to talk about you to somebody else, or to share your content, or to like it, or to comment on it. And that's the ripple effect that is social media. If you're not out there filling that funnel every day, shoveling that coal in that furnace, you got nothing. And yes, I mean, like I said, mentorship wise, that guy, Steve Noodleberg, I still talk to today. We're more contemporaries now than when I started, but he's someone that, he and I have a great relationship. And I have a couple of other people that are behind the scenes with me on sort of the financial planning, business planning, but they're business builders or CPAs or financial planners by trade, that are not only handling my money, but they also informally advise me on certain things that I lean on their expertise. But I will say this, I don't spend a lot of time talking to other people that do what I do. I'm not interested, even if I'm doing it wrong, because I'm doing it the Frank Sinatra style, my way.
I did it my way.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Oh man. So let's go into the next question. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
Now we're
sir.
gonna move into business growth and current operations. Okay. So since launching, how has your business evolved in terms of product, service, and target audience?
It's been a fun ride. I mean, like I said, I started with focusing 100% on the niche of voiceover people and actors, and that kind of built my foundation. But then as I started to grow, people that weren't in an industry were seeing me online and started to ask questions, because I would get things like, Corey, every time I turn my phone or my computer on, I see your face. You must be doing something right. So I picked up an insurance guy, a guy in the auto sales training industry, someone in insurance, financial planning. I was started to do stuff for smaller organizations, and now my more lucrative accounts are not from that side, the voiceover side of the business. Now I got these other accounts now. I'll always have a steady stream of voiceover people. That's just something that I know a lot about, I'm passionate about. I have a lot of friends in the industry, so that's very helpful. But then at the same time, I went from the marketing, coaching, consulting, which that's still the core of my business. I said, boy, what would be a great complement, a good brother or sister to this company? So I opened up a design firm, the Dissin Design Team. And basically, I turned my staff, my graphic design staff, who built my website, who built some of my social media graphics, my logo. And I said, why don't we just start doing that for other people? So we started designing logos, designing websites, designing social media graphics. And that turned into a virtual assistant service where I basically took my team, and basically you could rent my team to do stuff for you. So now we have virtual assistants. So we're, sending out mass emails and growing social media networks and posting content, et cetera, et cetera. So all those things just kind of built upon themselves. And thank goodness they're self-perpetuating for the most part. I mean, I feed the machine every day, but I have a track record of dozens and dozens of websites, dozens and dozens of logos, dozens and dozens of virtual assistant clients. And it's just fun to be able to take someone else's story and go, okay, here's a client, it's about the same size as you, same goals. Here's what we did for them. And they go, "Oh, you did it for them? Can you do it for me?" "Yes." "Shake hands." "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go."
Wow, that's amazing.
That's great. So, what are the most important strategies you've implemented to scale your business, and how do you keep things innovative?
Well, the most important strategy to grow my business is consistency. Okay. There are no days off. Now, that's to the layman, that sounds pretty scary. What do you mean there's no days off? You don't take vacation? Are you kidding me? Every day's a vacation for me. Okay. Today, you know what my job was today? Talking to you. That's fun.
Right.
That's my job today. And I
Yeah.
did it from the gym. I went to the gym, then I get to come talk to you. But consistency, even though I didn't have any booked appointments today other than you guys, I've already posted a couple of times on 4 different platforms. I've already communicated with several of my clients via text and email. I did stuff with my books, so took care of some accounting, etc., paid a couple of bills. I do that every day. I always joke, if you ever wanted to assassinate me, which I hope no one does, I'm the easiest person to do that to, because I'm at the same place, the same time, just about every day. And it's because I don't have to think about what I have to do. I have habits, systems, routines. That's why my business grows. So that consistency,
Yeah.
most folks are awesome for a week or two. I posted content. I invited 10 people. I sent an email. I said, you know what? Talk to me in 2 years.
Mm,
Do it every day for 2 years.
mm,
That's the key.
yeah.
There's always some cool little gadget, widget, software, something that might give you a spark, but you need to embrace the ember. You understand the difference?
Mm-hmm.
The ember is something that burns low and slow and for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That is the ticket to success. And if you keep that as your goal and just concentrate on what is 200 feet in front of you, doing the daily grind every day, the clients will come, the money will come. Most folks focus on money, 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 and they're not doing the things they're supposed to do to get the money. They only see that end result. It's like if you were standing on the street level of the Empire State Building and you wanted to get to the top, you can't just snap your fingers.
Right.
You either got to take the elevator or the steps. You got to take the steps
Right.
every day.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow, that was
the takeaway from that you just shared with us, for those who are listening or watching, is you got to be ready for the long game,
No
and
doubt.
the long game is really what pay off, even in pretty much everything, really. I mean, as we got our daughter, she turned 18, so we made sure that she's
18.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
know,
I know.
right?
Wait, that's why. 'Cause
Okay,
so
wait a second.
first of
I
all,
know. You
Two
gonna
more
pause on
white
that right
hairs
there.
the
just popped on
evolved
my chin when
the
you said that.
evolvedness one is that because Corey knew me childless,
When she, yeah,
single.
you were that. I knew you at that age.
That's
Holy
true.
moly.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. Now here she's fast forward now. She has an 18-year-old daughter. But and I told her, so we talk about stocks and all those things. And I said, listen, okay, so now you're working, live 90-10. Make that sacrifice. I know you see your friends buying all this and that, but live off of the 10% of your income, invest the 90%, right? And so as you learn about the stocks, and this is business analogy as well, though, I said just do quality stocks. Look at the long game, the ones that's been there.
Blue
Don't
chip.
don't worry about day trading and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about that. You're 18. Just invest, 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 and don't get caught up through the roller coaster. All this is metaphorically for the business, because business has roller coaster moments, right?
No doubt.
But the key is to stay consistent, which you talked about, and play the long game, and it'll pay off. It really does pay off. So,
And here's the caveat, is that most folks who say they want to play the long game make the mistake of coming up with an arbitrary deadline.
mm,
Oh, I know.
I'm going to play the long game until 2027.
You
No, that's not the long game. You play the long game until you win the game.
mm, wow,
Ooh, you play
Period.
the long game until
wow.
you win the game. That
Until you
is
win.
till you win. Yeah.
Corey, you having all these drop the mic moments here, sir. I know we got
Wow.
our mics on the stand, but I really appreciate that. That's definitely powerful. People, I hope you
Just
hear
trying to
this.
drop a few knowledge nuggets for your people.
Yes,
Right.
sir. And
Yes.
you definitely are doing that today. So we thank you for that. Yes.
So now, as a business owner, what do you find most fulfilling about running your company? And are there aspects you enjoy more than others?
We alluded to this a little bit. We talked about quality time with the family, but the biggest thing for me is never having to ask permission.
Mm.
When you work for somebody else,
Hmm.
you got to ask for permission. Can I go to lunch now? Can I take Saturday off? Can I leave early? Can I get a raise? Can I do this project?
Mm.
I don't have to ask anybody. It's up to me to dictate what hours I put in, how much I make, where I go, etc. That freedom is by far the most attractive thing to being a successful entrepreneur. That should be your North Star. It's not the money, it's the freedom that the money creates. And
That's a
thank
good one.
goodness, yeah, I'm not a rich man. Believe me, I'm not wealthy. But I live in Southern California in a gated community. Like, I'm a ham and egger, dude. And I got guards and gates, and it's ridiculous. But my refrigerator is full, my rent is paid, there's gas in the car, and I'm good.
Amen. And free.
Free.
That's it.
Free. You know
Yes.
what I
Yes.
get to do when we're done today?
Mm.
What?
You ready?
Yeah.
Nothing. I
Say
get
it
to
again.
do
Say it again.
nothing.
Say it again.
Nothing. I get to do nothing.
Oh man.
And it's a beautiful thing. I pinch myself every day. I say to my wife, "Can you believe this? This is what we get to do? Are you
Yeah.
kidding?"
Yeah. Wow.
But this is what I get to do. Thank goodness. But look, I will say, when I'm in the trenches and I'm in the batter's box, I'm trying to hit a home run every time. I'm not
Yeah.
just trying to not get out. So when I'm talking to a client, I'm all in, because I want their success is my success. If I
Yes.
keep them going, they're either going to keep coming back to me, or they're going to tell somebody else, or they're going to vouch for me on a video or something, and that keeps new people stepping up to the plate.
Wow. 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 That's awesome right there. Thank you for sharing that. As we get ready to close out, looking ahead, where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years? Are there any specific goals or milestones you're working toward?
You ready to be shocked? So my goal is to close up shop. Period. It's not that I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing. I'm not getting any younger. My children are about ready to have their own children. And the same way that I wanted to be there to watch them come up and do the guitar lessons and the little league games and the karate and all that stuff, I want to see the next generation of Dissins in their diapers running around too. And like I said, as long as I can keep the refrigerator full, the rent paid, and gas in the car, I'll probably always keep my shingle out there, and have a consulting client or two or three just to have a little inbound revenue. But if I'm still humping as hard as I am now, which isn't that much, but if I'm still doing that in 10 years,
Mhm.
that's a problem for me. I was able to call Yahtzee and Shawshank my way out of working for somebody else. Now the goal is to do that, to stop working for myself.
Wow. And if I'm being honest, that is the ultimate goal that we all should aspire to, you
Mhm.
know, to build something where you have the opportunity to say, I can close shop. Because you had to do a lot of footwork to be able to get into a position where you're able to say,
It's time.
it's time. It's
Right.
time. I mean, it's the ultimate retirement in terms of meaning that I've succeeded to this point where I'm comfortable.
Mhm.
I can walk away and focus more on my family, even more so. Because at the ultimate end of the day, which we were talking about, it's all about that that most valuable thing, which is time.
Right. And no regrets. No regrets. You did it.
I'll share something with you that personal, profound, but it all ties into what we're talking about today. On the date of this interview, January 15th, 2025, tomorrow is the anniversary of when my mother passed.
Mm.
And she died right before her 77th birthday. She traveled all over the world. There was, if she wanted something, she got it. Trust me, my old man has the scars to prove it. And when she passed, which was kind of suddenly, she had a bout with cancer that just ate her alive quickly. That was a huge alarm bell to me to say, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And that's what I tell my clients. What are you waiting for? Go get it. Do it now. So all the things that I want that are important to me, I'm not waiting. I'm doing it now. And I'm doing it now because of my own personal fulfillment, but I'm also walking the walk and not just talking the talk. If I'm going to coach you and tell you get off your rear end, do this, that, and the other every day, and I'm not doing that myself in pursuit of what I want, I'm a total hypocrite. So that I share that story with you and with your audience to say, don't procrastinate. Don't be a window shopper or a foot dragger. Get out there and figure it out. Find the money. Go between the couch cushions. Sell something. Sacrifice doing something social a couple of nights a week. Sock that money away and invest it in doing whatever you want. You want to go out and get another degree? You want to go build a business? You want a fancy home in a vacation site? Figure it out. Stop screwing around, man.
Wow.
Anyway, I could go on and on with
Man,
that.
No,
that's like
this is
so good.
yeah, it's very, very good.
It
We
just
really
reminds me of my younger days when I was working with you. You're like, ask me the questions. After I had all my interns, after that, Corey, I always take them when I had interns or anybody I worked with. I'm like, ask me. I'm here. I'm a resource.
so we're gonna leave it there because that's a great spot to stop at and
You
let
got
people
it.
hit the rewind button because this is one of these videos that I think that you want to continue to hit replay. But before we go, can you please tell our viewers and listeners how they can access your book, or if they want to contact you or for business, whatever the case may be, hit us with all that information.
Well, shameless plug time. Uh, the easiest way, obviously, CoreyDissin.com. But what I tell everyone is Google me. And if you can't find me after you Google me, I'm a phony. Because people pay me to teach them how to market themselves and get their name out there. You Google Corey Dissin, I think you're going to find just a couple pages worth of information. I'm not hard to find at all. Obviously, I'm on all of the major social media platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and X. The book is available just by going on my website, so it takes you right to Amazon. Dirt cheap. I'm not trying to make a ransom on that. I'm just trying to pass on some life lessons, etc. But I appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you guys. I'm super proud of both of you for a myriad of reasons, and I wish you a lot of luck with the podcast. And of course, anything I can do to help and spread the word for you guys, you just let me know.
Oh, will do.
We
Thank you
appreciate
so
that. Thank you
much.
so much. Well, guys, we appreciate y'all watching. It's so much information. Share this and like and subscribe.
Thank you so much for watching us at BizTalk UnLocked with James and April Ward.